right, Emanating Voice, week 2. What's up, y'all? What's up, y'all? Thanks for joining me today. I gotta say, week 1, I was very encouraged. It was fun to hear from you guys. I've seen pictures of painted squares. I've seen times where there was a first version, there was a second version. I heard for some people that when you painted, it was one color, and when it dried, it was another color. I'm sure there's a metaphor in there somewhere. But anyways, thank you guys for week 1, and I'm excited to move on to week 2. So week 1 was about what is the emanating voice and how do you read it. For week 2, I want to talk about what do you do with this thing? How in regular life do you use the emanating voice? Now, I heard feedback from someone this week that said, oh, the emanating voice, that's intuition. And I think that's probably right. It's another way of saying what I'm talking about here. I think I like calling it a voice because I like this aspect of being able to interact with it. And I hope that's some of what I can share with you guys in these 4 weeks is not just a general notion of there's something that can guide us, but these concrete steps we can take to hear from it. For me, when I interact with the emanating voice, it's clear, it's direct. There's an old phrase from Terence McKenna that just blows my mind. He got it from somebody else. But anyway, it goes like this. The good, the true, and the beautiful. These are the things we're talking about. The good, the true, and the beautiful. The good, what is it? Tricky, tricky, tricky. The true, what is it? Trickier, trickier still. The beautiful, what is it? Easy to ascertain. And that's what we're going for here, is something that you can interact with that actually is easy to ascertain, that's easy to get information back from. I had feedback from one in the study group who shall not be named, who said they wanted more backgrounds in these video shots. So here you go, new background every shot. I hope you like it. So I want to start this week with a story, because this week's about using the emanating voice in your day-to-day life, in your usual life. And so I want to start with a story about where that came up for me. So recently I had an issue with a friend. Didn't see eye to eye one way or the other. The details aren't important. The point was, this was something that after some months of tumult and back and forth, I did sit down to meditate and use the emanating voice on to present the situation to myself and feel a response, to hear a response from that deep emanating voice, from that deep intuitive side. And really what it told me was offer forgiveness. Basically, it was a case where I felt like I was in the right, but in this case, the beautiful thing, it seems, after this time, after this back and forth that's gone on, the beautiful thing was to offer forgiveness. And what I've heard forgiveness described as is not necessarily forgetting, is not necessarily dissolving anything that happened or negating your ideas of what happened, but forgiveness is foregoing your just right to retribution. Basically, there's some idea that if you are just in this situation, you have the opportunity for retribution. You have the opportunity to be angry. You have the opportunity to get back. And forgiveness is relieving that. Forgiveness is forgiving that just opportunity for vengeance, for forgiveness. Seiji, hey, don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, Echinacea. So that's this week. This week is going to be an opportunity to use the emanating voice in your own life. Now, I won't pick exercises that are as difficult as dealing with a friendship problem. I'll give you something easier than that, but that's what we're going to talk about this week. Before we get there, I do want to give you one more piece of content. And the idea is this. It's basically an offer of a way to live your life. And it's related to this emanating voice idea. And I call it this, basically unrestricted living, unfiltered living, direct action. And it goes like this. First, let's start with the counterpoint. What is the common way to live and decision make in our culture? And I'd say it goes like this. First off, you're a person. Hello, I'm a person. Then you have an idea. Bing! Here's something that I want to do. Then you think about it, and you think about kind of the pros and cons, you weigh it good or bad. This is kind of the brain section. You take that idea and you think, maybe we should do this, maybe we shouldn't do that. You make a decision, and then you make an action. So this is what I'd call option 1, or the standard way. Person, idea, thinking, action. Option 2, emanating voice style, goes like this. Person, action. And so you've pulled out a lot of steps there. And the base idea is You're a person, you go out into this world, and as things happen, as an opportunity comes up, as you meet a person, as a lightning bolt comes down and you have to decide to run, you allow yourself to skip over the idea, analyze portion, and go straight from person to action. And so this is kind of a self-indulgent, again to use that word, way of living, in that you act directly as you want to. You act directly as you naturally would. Now, a natural challenge arises to this. If you're acting day to day in a self-indulgent manner, won't that lead you to be a self-indulgent person, a selfish person? And the truth is, it depends what type of person you are. If you are a selfish person and you act in a self-indulgent way, your actions will be selfish. But if you're a selfless person, if you're a good person, and you act in a self-indulgent way, you wouldn't act in a selfish way because that wouldn't feel right to you. That wouldn't be your nature. So this is an interesting task. It basically takes the decision-making process from live. So option A, the standard way, is live while you're living, while you're interacting, you're always trying to modify your behavior. To option B, the emanating voice style, is that in the moment, you don't modify your behavior at all. But if over time you don't like your behavior, you don't like what's coming out of you inside your emanating voice, then you actually change yourself. You look deep inside yourself and change yourself. There's that old Native American saying that inside of us are two dogs, basically the good and the bad dog. And whichever dog you feed more will win. We were just telling our kids that the other day. So this is the idea, in that if you want to modify your behavior, think not in the moment, how can I modify my behavior, but think instead, how do I modify myself so that when I act in an uninhibited fashion, the actions that I find beautiful come out.